Hi, I'm Jotham Mishambi. I'm glad to be here.
I'm on the JR, call me Derrick.
What's up, guys? My name is Norman Kasule. I'm really happy to be here.
Hello, my name is Lydia Mbabazi. I'm happy to be here.
Hi, Ngabire Wendy, and I'm glad to be here.
Hello, I am MooTownoh and I'm happy to be here.
My name is Klaus and I'm happy to be here.
Hey, my name is Barigye and glad to be here and hope we have a good discussion.
Tribalism within African countries. You feel me? Tribalism within African countries. Is tribalism a thing of the past, or does it still happen today? And is it practiced?
Is there anything in the past?
It's definitely still there.
Very,
Definitely.
very alive and well, and
Very
breathing
much.
and being continued, you know?
But is it, you see,
Is it
the
still
fact
practiced?
that we are defining tribalism, where the hell did that even come from? Why are we different? If we're in the same place, you understand? So for starters, the starting point of all this was the ending point. It shouldn't have happened. We are one people and hey, some guys this, some guys that,
No.
but we are all moving
But,
to the same
but
direction.
you see, the thing is, as much as we're all black people, right? I mean, okay, you say we're Ugandans, right? But who was Uganda made by? Was it made by a guy who looks like any of us? No! It was made by some British fellow all the way in London and decided, okay, all of you guys, you're now Ugandans, right? And the truth of the matter is, these tribes, some of them, they incited that violence. They tried to favor some over the others, and that created enmity. And already these guys had Asian beefs. So it just, exasperated the situation. For example, you look at how there are laws both in Uganda and Kenya. How do you think that happened? So even as much as we can say it shouldn't have begun,
When you say
it's
the
so-
laws, add them their title. Very, very ruthless laws.
now see, it's statements like that that bring
It shouldn't have happened. All of this should have happened.
No, but like you see, that's the thing. As human beings, I from study of human beings, I know that we cannot be united. It's unfortunate, but
That's wrong, man.
no, it's true because this whole idea of thinking
can't exist.
why not?
Cannot.
Okay, then why haven't we,
We
after
can't.
all these thousands and thousands of years of existing, why haven't we all been unified? Yes, we all eat
That's
bread
a
and all
question
that
for
stuff.
ancestors.
No.
I think it's more of an issue that tribalism focuses. We ought to embrace our diversity. Yes, we're different ethnic groups. We have different languages, but I do not feel like that should be a basis on which we should say, oh, this person. Like, I feel like how they always say is one race, the human race, that's it. Anything else is extra, whether we break it down to what color of your skin is or where your grandmother was born, is all irrelevant.
But can I ask you a question? Do we live in fairyland where everyone is happy?
The matter of the
we're
fact
all
is tribalism is
together.
there.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're all
Been
human.
there.
No,
To answer
the
the
fact
question.
of the matter is
Yeah.
there's division, and it's because we are, as much as we are the same, we're different. Just look at all of us. Do we all look the same? Do we have all the same abilities, the same talents, the same passions, the same even names?
But are we more the same than we are different?
Question.
Had
Let's start from there, right? Let's start from there. Yeah. You could be a Muganda. I could be a Musoga. What difference is there? Distance. You get it? You're in Ginger. I mean.
No, but
We are creating. We are creating. Cars. I'll call them cars. Like this whole. This tribe is like this. This tribe is like this. These are cars. Like we are one. And you say Africa. The reason as why we are behind is because of that. Okay? If you can't learn to harmonize with him, because already they have said he's a Musoga, because he's a Muganda. If you can't deal with him the way he is, then there's a problem.
okay, but
If you can't deal with yourselves, you see the white guys,
no, hey, the French
You see-
hate the
you see-
English and
you see-
English hate the French.
but they work together.
Explain
They
the
work
Germans
together.
were fighting with the French. Please don't tell me
But you
about
see,
that they are unified. No.
Of
They're
course
not.
not.
Can I make my point?
But
Can I
then
make my
again,
point?
but then again, tribalism still comes from.
No, because the British are Anglo-Saxon,
From
the French
politics,
are Norman.
leadership,
Yes.
fighting
You guys,
for power,
it's in the
even way
titles.
back from like
It's
Imperial
tribalism.
Bongo.
Tribalism.
just
You guys are talking
the
about
fight
power
for
struggles
power.
and
No, but you see, the thing is, what's the definition of a tribe?
A tribe with a head, it must have a head.
Yeah, like politics. Even when you look at it, like right now in our country, when you look at it,
I refuse to
there
call
are
them
more
king
people
or whoever
on,
because
like
this
the
is a fellow
higher
human being.
positions. There are more of the Banyakonde than there are other tribes. Then
But
other
you know,
tribes
you know why
still
that
coming
happened,
down,
right?
down, down.
If you look at that history, you will clearly.
But then even still, when you go back to Obote, even him when he
Yeah, he was
power,
with his guys. He put his
up, like,
the actual is
it
there.
is-
The problem is up
tribalism
there.
comes with
Nada, it's
When
down
they
here
get
with
power.
No,
us.
it's not up
It's
there.
between
It's
you,
just in your home.
all of
Yeah.
us.
I want to listen to
Yes.
you.
Tribalism, of course, it's not a thing of the past. If anything, it's more with us now than it was with anyone in the past. But it doesn't start at the top. It starts in your home. It starts with someone's mother telling them that they don't want a daughter-in-law who's a Musoga. It starts with someone's father saying you can't marry that man from that tribe. Personally, in my family, someone married someone from a different tribe and their father didn't agree with it. He almost didn't want the function to happen. Imagine if, like, my cousin had married someone of our tribe, it would have been a whole thing. He would have gone all out, invited all the neighbors, and called everyone, even the ones who didn't want to come. But when someone chose to marry someone from a tribe he doesn't agree with, he's like, no, we're only going to call like 5 people and that's enough. Not everyone needs to know about this. And I think it's also from stereotypes, because that's the only way that it keeps advancing. That's the only way it keeps progressing, when they tell you so and so in their tribe they do this.
Yeah.
Those guys there where they are, they eat people. They are night dancers.
I think
They are witch doctors.
But I think we have to realize that tribes, or just being tribalistic, is malicious in this intent. Because we look at the origins of tribes and certain, for example, like how they say the northerners, that whole Jipe and the Bongo story, how some form the Acholi and others form the Langi. It was just because of a difference of opinion. Tribe is not something that is encoded in our DNA.
yes.
It is a choice that was made, not necessarily by us, but by our predecessors. So whether we decide to let it happen today, again, is a conscious decision that we are making. Because realistically, there's nothing that necessitates tribalism. It's a conscious decision we're making, either whether we realize it or not.
But I think tribalism, in a sense, has its positives as well.
It does.
Because I feel like tribes, like you say, it comes derives from tribes, and a tribe is a culture, and values at the core of every culture.
Different norms.
You see what I'm saying? So you need these values you're espoused to.
Yeah.
If those guys, for them, part of what they do is eat gays and eat folk.
There's someone who said that tradition is peer pressure from
dead
people.
people, yes.
Like, why should we continue with tradition regardless of its... Okay, because we know that for a fact. Like, for example, female circumcision is not something that got to be happening today. It is tradition. Does that necessitate the fact that because it's tradition and our predecessors, our ancestors did it, we should do it today? Tradition should not be a determining factor for anything any decision we make in our day-to-day lives, because it does not define us as individuals.
But you see, that's the thing.
It doesn't affect you.
Everything that you have seen
It's tradition.
is tradition.
Yes.
Look at this table. You think this table would exist if we did not use the knowledge from those before us? Everything. So
There's no
really, we're saying
present
let's
past.
take the entire human, you know.
I don't think you got his point.
I think, I think this whole traditional thing, like how you're saying, and someone said something about it, values and customs, and but like there's some things that are just human nature. I don't agree with, like how you said, traditions, and I know that as a human, it's kind to say hello, how you please, and thank you. You know what I mean? I don't need a tradition or try to tell me, oh, we need to kneel down when we're serving, or you know what I mean? Like that's just like you said. Someone said peer pressure from dead people.
I think that's taking us back to class.
In my opinion.
Like what tribe, what do you share with this tribe? We all greet one another.
But that's the
The
thing.
Bantu
I think
have
we are
that.
more alike than we are different.
yeah.
Honestly.
So would you rather we stay like this?
The thing is, something like tribe, it's like how you said the only race is the human race. Someone somewhere invented a system to split us up as if so evenly, to make it so clear that me and you are not in the same tribe, and that creates a clear difference. But if you really think about it, how different are we? It's just that there's a label that now I'm from this tribe and you're from this tribe. But if we took that away, imagine if tribes didn't exist, or if we didn't think that these people are so different from us, we would still be different, of course, because they're not human beings who are exactly the same. But that clear divide of you're this tribe and I'm not that tribe wouldn't exist.
Okay, so then if you just said imagine, right? What is your practical solution for this? Because we have to be pragmatic.
For
because,
tribalism.
Yeah, we cannot be here in fancy.
Yeah, we need to
you know?
understand our differences. We need to understand, like how he said, if that's their culture and for them in their culture they eat, I don't know what, that we don't eat, we need to accept them as that. Because even in Uganda we eat things like grasshoppers, people eat, I don't know, white ants, and other people hearing about that be like, oh my god, why? It's like how we heard about Chinese eating bats and all these other things. I'm like, why would you even do that? We need to understand that things might be different in your tribe. Like he was talking about kneeling. In some tribes people kneel to serve, in some tribes people don't. They don't make you do that. We need to understand that even if they don't do what I do, it's okay. We don't have to be exactly the same, but we have to find a way to work together. We don't only have to pick people from our tribe. Imagine we came to this podcast and we're all of the same tribe. We don't have to do that. We can take different people with their different opinions or values and cultures. Yeah.
Tribalism, because it, like you said, stereotypes. So, like I said, it's a conscious decision. You cannot say that because I am a certain tribe A, that's going to affect my ability to do something. How? In what way?
No, true.
Like you said, tribe is a label.
Yes.
And because you're going to characterize me based on a stereotype of my tribe. You understand? So it's really an unnecessary vicious cycle of stupidity.
It should have nothing to do with your
personality. It really shouldn't have. Because tribalism in essence is saying, I am selecting these people who are my tribe because I believe that they are superior and will hold maybe my certain values, but that should not be a determining factor for selecting anyone or any group of people to do anything.
But you see, I don't want to mention any names or any particular things. But me, some of those stereotypes, they hold true. You know, when I'm doing business, I work with all sorts of human beings. And me, I can tell you, I will not say anything because man, they're filming us. But I will tell you for a fact, there's some people who I work with and they help. They do very, they're not selfish. They're not, oh my God, I have this bad heart inside of me. And yet there's this other group. Constantly.
And you even expected it because that's
the
stereotype.
That's the thing. And it happens. So,
we are running away.
What can I say?
We are running away from the bigger picture.
What
effect has this had? Like, there is an effect. That today in our country, it's obvious that some people are characterized to be above already, automatically.
But hasn't that always been the case?
No. What do you mean? What do you mean?
For individuals,
what do you mean?
tribes.
No.
Like,
Do you remember when the British came, right? They favored the Baganda over every other tribe.
Because the Baganda
Buganda. No, because that is that. And then guess what? So and that's led to
But do you realize that once you look at stereotype, once you start looking for something, a certain quality in someone, do you know that even if you find it, you will find it?
No way. No way.
That's true. Once you put something in your mind, once you say that, tribe A is a lazy asshole, you will meet someone from that tribe, and even if they're not necessarily lazy, you will look for that quality. You look for that one time that we need to sleep out. You see?
No, society, you cannot say they are playing out every day. Whatever you say, it's playing out every day in front of us. So we need a solution to this. We need to. Okay, let's have this. But listen. Until we say let it happen, it won't happen. Okay? So we can keep on debating this shit in front of the camera, but at the end of the day, we go back to reality. And me, I'm more of an enforcer. I don't like talking, I not acting.
Same here.
This nonsense of tribes. This tribe is this tribe is that. It's not gonna help. It's taking us way back. Listen, look at Nigeria. Okay, we're discussing Uganda, but look at Nigeria. A Yoruba man cannot support an Igbo man. You get? No way. You guys watch Big Brother? The celebrities are lining up their tribe mates to vote for their fellow tribe mates. You get? But I mean, it should be fair. It should be fair. Like, let's vote for the best, yeah, not for the most popular tribe.
So how do you best answer this question?
No, okay.
We can only answer it by we can only answer it by first of all acting against whatever nonsense is being played.
But you guys, there's a gap between reality and this utopian fantasy.
Maganda are labeled as thieves.
Yo, what
No
I
one
think,
can trust a Muganda.
I think
Like,
Let's not mention names, bro.
up to when are we? Up to
No one
when?
wanted to say
Up
that.
to when? Listen. Sugarcoat it or what? But listen. And fact is, Baganda are playing out to their character as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you see,
So that's the issue.
now I
once
think-
you
I
label,
think-
once you say
I
you
think-
are a thief, it's like you're tempting me. So like, yo, okay, you say.
So you can't think for yourself. I tell you,
Stop
take
this.
no man, you are
Different.
No, but there's a chance that he will actually fuck you.
It's
No, but they are accepting that. They
Anyone
have
can
to
say
see
that.
it.
anyone
Yeah,
can-
anyone
Someone
can
calls
do
you a
that.
thief.
No,
I
personality and individuality.
No. Cautious.
it becomes it's psychological.
It's cautious.
It's like religion. Why you are Christian? Because my mom was one.
You're born into it.
You get.
You're born into it.
You can't change religion.
It's
because
only
if you
later
do,
on
they
until
can
you
kick
become
out
an
of the family.
adult and you're able to comprehend and say like, no, I don't think this is something I want to follow. But just by the nature that you keep, your mother takes you to church. There's also like when we had the sexuality debate. We're not given chances when we're younger to make decisions, right? Because you're incapable of making a decision when you're young. It's the same thing with tribe. We're not asked which tribe we're born into. Therefore, is it fair for me to be judged and put in a certain stereotype simply because I was born to a certain tribe?
Yeah, of course it's not fair.
No, but
Therefore,
it is-
based on that as a fact, it becomes very evident and very clear that tribalism, in its essence, is malicious. It's just meant to
Definitely malicious.
divide and conquer, basically.
Yes. Yes.
You understand? It's let's make them see differences and realize and think they're not the same.
Although when you like, so when you like travel, when you go to
they are always fighting with
You will see that
this is why it's
the reason why we're talking about this, like this is because we know
will
better.
see.
You understand?
But we need to accept that
We know
difference
better.
because I'm sitting next to Wendy. We're both girls, but we're different.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you're going to pick her for something just because she's, just because she's Wendy.
Okay,
We need to
okay.
change
I
that.
have a question for you guys, right? So you know how you have, your families, your siblings, and everything, and I don't know how, like, okay, when in any situation, right, you pick them over anyone else. Why? Because they're your family, right? Because even if you're not even as close with them, even if you just say we share blood, right? You don't choose them, they just, and that's the same thing. Because the thing is, okay, as much as you say tribes are different, blah, 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 but these things were started by human beings. One family grew into many. So you see, that's why people find that whole commonality in it. Because me, honestly, I honestly think that there's no way we can say, okay, remove all barriers and what, because that's not realistic. But I can say, let's respect each other. Let's respect each other.
We're not saying
better.
that tribe should not exist.
Exactly.
We're saying it should not be a determining factor for
Exactly.
anything. Because the definition of tribalism means selectivity based on tribe.
Yes.
That should not exist.
No, not at all, bro.
And even the stereotypes should not exist because keep your barriers, that's well and good. If that's what you want, that's what you want to do. Do what you do there where you are. But then me standing on the outside, and that's usually how it happens. Someone standing on the outside of your tribe or of your culture is pointing fingers, saying this is wrong, you don't do this like me, and I don't accept that. But that shouldn't happen. We should accept those barriers and we should accept those differences, but that should not be a determinant for what else we want to do, because we have to all live together.
Okay, I have a question.
As a fact.
If I told you I bring two random human beings, one person is from Germany, a white person, and one is from, a Fort Pot. There. And just, you don't know any of these characters, you will obviously first go to the person who looks most like you, right?
For what?
But that's human instinct.
Exactly.
No,
that is why you say tribalism. No, because you see the thing is, tribalism comes from human instinct. It comes from being a person. That's the only truth, because as human beings, we have division.
No, it's true that human beings
We went to
gravitate-
that way. You're saying you brought those two people, the German and the person from Fort Pot. For what?
To do what? Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. I'm just saying, like, you're choosing
Build
them
this
in,
thing,
like,
I guess.
No, I think you should build on something.
okay, build on, okay, fine. For example,
That's a very big.
That was
how
playing.
can I say? Okay, fine, like, okay, you're in a room, right? And there are white people this side, there are black people this side. Black person can come from Ghana, I don't care, Zimbabwe, but you will naturally gravitate to him or her, right?
If
You will not naturally.
Are you asking him
Does
or
that
us?
make you racist?
No, it
You're asking.
doesn't. It doesn't.
No, you see, that's the thing.
What's the question?
Okay, fine, racism is another different thing, but me, I still go and say that I think that to an extent all of us have racial biases. I don't think that any of us
Yo,
can
man,
say
I think-
completely we
I
are.
think it comes down to who you are as an individual. Previous episode we're talking about know yourself, know your history.
When you look at, okay, when the British first came, the Baganda, you know, were the ones, right? And all their workers were from the West. They all looked down upon them, and these guys worked hard and educated their kids. Most of these guys were rich. They were having like 10,000 acres means. Moreover in Louisiana. Hey. So at the end of the day, you know, it's like those guys, they didn't want what. And then when, of course, you know, the Acholi and the Langi, and they came in, and then when Museveni came, right, who did he go to? He called these people, you know, and they fought. And they fought hard. They suffered in that bush.
Actually, wait. Point of correction.
Uh-huh.
The people that fought back in history, people that fought with Museveni were not mostly that.
Apana, my dad fought with Museveni, and they were
That's
mostly
your dad. My
from the
dad was
West.
called Kasule.
Uh-huh. But they were from the
Where
West.
did they fight from? Uganda. What are you saying?
Yeah, but guess what? Most of those commanders
Why
were
did
from the
they-
West.
why did they fight in
Gonza, Saleh,
Why did they fight in
Kasura. Eh?
You get?
Because Imbarara was already.
But the power was not.
It was occupied.
They were fighting.
For
wasn't
Kampala.
Are you fighting for Kampala or Uganda? What are you
Anyway,
saying?
point being is
But
they won.
that's the
That's the head of the snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fight the war. Man, Kampala doesn't
How do we?
You guys actually want to tell me that these guys fought in Kampala?
They got
You cannot fight in the city.
They actually came
They
and
fought
destroyed
in
it.
Luwero.
But
Which means if they fought in Luwero, they would have fought in Mbara.
But they couldn't.
what were they fighting?
But for what? What was
Yeah.
there?
People there agreed with the man's
No, and also
saying,
in Imbarara,
They
I
are
think
building
they
a
had
point
what
that Museveni went for Oyuli,
Yeah.
Banyankole, which is not true.
not only,
That's what you're saying.
but
said-
majority in the highest positions.
And
That's
that's
not
how
even
we
Look at all the generals.
That's not true. That's playing out today. Most generals actually from the north.
Yeah, to keep them at bay. You honestly think you can rule this country without having
Those are the guys that fought.
to balance the board.
Museveni before
Look at all these ministries. Tell me where they are not headed
I want
by.
us to
Yeah.
just with facts, Jotham. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Mr. Museveni, before he fought Obote, he had to get people from Obote's government as well. To join him. You want to tell me that the people in Obote's government were
Okay, yes, they were there. They were there.
Most
No,
majority were from the north.
no, actually,
I'm making my point on
Yeah.
facts.
Uh-huh.
Okay? Majority were from the north. They joined Museveni. They were tired of Obote. You see how Museveni beat them? He got all tribes.
Yes.
Listen,
And
please.
guess
Listen,
what?
please.
Uh-huh.
He got the Baganda. Okay? He got the Baganda because they were the Biranji. Okay?
Yeah, and look what he did to you guys.
You know why he got them? You know why he got? First, listen.
Oh, yeah.
You know why he got them? You know why he got them?
Why?
Because the money was here, and he promised them they are what? They are Kabaka. You get it?
Yes, yeah.
So
He was a-
this is how
He's a
you
sharp
need
guy.
people like this, not people like other who are going to tell us that, you know what, for me,
That's my
if I'm building an empire, all of us are going to be from the
You're
same
on a
place.
slippery
Yeah.
slope.
No, but you see that at the end of the day, you look at it. Why is it?
I
When I get
was
stopped.
only correcting you.
Okay, no,
you
yeah.
labeling Museveni. as
Okay,
a-
no, yeah, but no, you see the
The
thing is,
tribalist.
at the end of the day, you still have to also
President
recognize this,
Museveni.
right? Yes, exactly. Yeah. But like you guys, you have to also realize that there's a reason why. When I get stopped and I want to call my brother called Amanya, the police officer starts shaking. There's a reason for that.
Why is it his tribe or his probably puff?
But there's a
No, that's the thing.
There is a
Here
old Amanya who will do stop and you became.
That's badly.
But you're in a car.
But you're in a car and you're there, and you see the thing is, I can tell you for a fact. The other
Don't incriminate yourself.
but like, okay, the other day, we were 5 people in the car. The police officer stopped us. They wanted to make noise. They were crying. And then we called some people. And they asked us, hey, where are you guys from? You want to send me back to Kisoro? They got scared. Why? Do you think it's because, oh, Bambi, they just fear? Who am I yet?
See,
I'm no one.
History teaches that. I'll take you back again.
Yes.
When Obote was president, who were the most
That's right.
beneficiaries? So what are you telling me?
So same thing here. That's why I'm telling you that we.
I think
The question was.
No, Jay, finish.
I think you've explained it.
Why is
So I was telling you,
better the devil you know than the devil you don't?
Right.
You understand?
And you don't,
People are always going to be more likely to side with people that they're more familiar with. It's like fear of the unknown.
Right.
They're like, okay, I know this
Right.
this fellow so and so mine has his shortcomings, but at least
Right.
I know his
I know
shortcomings.
them, yeah.
This one is an unknown entity. So let me go with this
That one
one.
I know.
And that's how it starts, but then eventually it becomes
becomes
radical and out
becomes a lifestyle.
Out of spite.
Yeah,
But even one other thing is that I think people are now trying to get revenge. You talked about Obote and Obote's government and who was in power
Exactly.
then.
So now Uganda.
Someone
And even
else
also
came
Uganda
into
was
their
first.
government and they're like, now I'm going to show you. Now I'm also going to have
let me
my
get it
turn.
and you see.
Yes, and when my turn is over, someone else will come and say, you guys did this and this to us, so we're not going to help you out. So that's
I told you Western Ghana was Pakasi.
To answer the question is,
Kasule Baraza.
once we have politics in play, definitely we shall have tribalism.
Yes.
So please,
Thank you. Yeah. Actually, yeah.
please, no politics, no tribalism.
But I think
Yes politics, yes tribalism.
for purposes of where we want to go, I know I've established that tribalism is going to exist.
Yeah.
And then even to the Bible, Jews, Gentiles, and so on and so forth. It's going to be existent. It's an existential thing. However, how do we now bridge the gap? I mean, from tribal, like where I come from, we're not allowed to eat fish. Now you're thinking, this is.
Where's that?
I'm living off dead men's principles. You know what I mean? Like
Where's that?
on the West Coast. So now I'm asking, why did you guys jam me from it? Because I'm living off dead men's principles. You know what I mean? The guy will probably thought if you take fish, the guy will die and things like that. You know what I mean?
Or just
No, it's because
another
you see,
group
I
was
think
eating it.
You see, you can't understand it. These are people who didn't, swim, have gone, so
that's why-
something foreign. Yeah,
So
you
it's
can't
quite
understand.
primitive. It's quite primitive.
What
Another
is that?
thing is
Yeah.
that at the end of the day as well, tribalism has brought too many good things like ethics and things of that nature.
We discussed that.
I would rather not have that whole narcissistic standpoint, the Eurocentrism that everyone is to each his own.
Yes.
I'm anti that.
Same.
I'm not a guy who rides with that whole. That means I'm literally on my own out here in the streets. But tribalism tells us there's a communal vibe, some sort of okay. It might be fake, but at least it dictates. That's where it comes in. Am I informed enough to know that we're all the same? I have to be informed enough to know that this thing has limits. There has to be a moderation attached to it. This is where we come in. Our old folk had they have the primitive mindsets of how things were run. It's not their fault. That's where they came. But now as we are sort of enlightened enough to know that this guy dictates how
No,
we
yeah, like all of us in school, we have met. We have friends from different areas. Like for example, them, literally all the people they grew up with were from their place.
Yeah.
They know all. So like when you meet someone, you're like, this guy is speaking Luganda. What's that? Oh, this guy, man. But for us,
It's different.
you guy, we know. You have
Integrated.
So I think also, you see, we're intermixing. You see now, like for me. I remember when I introduced my girlfriend to my dearest brother, he told me, where is she from? I said, Nigerian Randis. I said, what? Nigerian Randis. Disappointed. She must be from Rukunjiri or Ntungam, around there. And I was like, for what? And so for me, I really like the fact that
I would like you to look in the camera and tell nobody to choose a partner.
based on
on
don't choose partners based on tribes because at the end of the day it's personality. Even me at first, let me be honest with you. At first when I said I'll find a woman it's Western Uganda. That was it for me. If it wasn't, don't come. That was my primitive way of thinking. But of course, as I grew older and I also got more enlightened, and that was recently. It wasn't like 10 years ago. It was up until like last year when I met lovely lady, and it showed me, exposed me to something that so you can have.
What do you attribute that to? What changed your opinion?
What changed? I think honestly, it's love.
Common sense.
When you start loving your fellow human being, you realize that all of that, all those divisions that you try and put in your head, it disappeared. Because I think it was that love that I had that made me look beyond the surface and origin and physical.
But
and all
also,
that.
what also made you have that bias in the beginning? Because you can't say you were.
Of course, for where I grew up in.
Environment.
All my people, what did they say? Same thing.
So your tribalism at that point in time was based on your community.
Yeah, because
Almost all of us.
All of us. You think it just starts from
You are
man, that one. No.
Environment.
Don't go to the
I like this girl.
Exactly.
Up to
But also isn't that ironic that
we are perpetrating it?
tribes exist based on communities, and communities perpetuate the tribalism at the same time.
Yeah, true.
So
and those communities are us.
It's almost like a catch-22, like.
So like it's our responsibility. Do something.
Yeah,
we should do something
Change the
about
next
it.
generation.
Ours is what are we going to do? Remember?
It's gone. It's dead.
For example, in the previous
next one.
in the previous discussion, I forgot to say we are going to be remembered for the generation that gave up on love, right? Yeah, because you guys don't believe in love.
Man, believe in love. 110%.
Most of us don't believe in love.
Believe in love? Who doesn't believe in love here?
Okay. Relationships.
Okay. I think you get
Did I say it wrongly? No. Okay, I was trying to refer to that other discussion.
No, I understand.
Relationships, yeah.
But how
are we going to be remembered?
When you talk about relationships, that has nothing to do with tribalism, really.
Did you get what I said?
It has everything to do with narcissism more than anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
It does,
That aside, what are we, as a generation, going to be remembered for? For discussing this shit on videos? Bullshit.
Teach your kids
better. Teach our kids better?
Exactly, that's the thing.
Teach our kids better?
That's why it starts
Teach ourselves better. How do we teach ourselves better fast? We need to. That's exactly the point I'm making, and you're trying to make it to me. Let me make it. Teach our kids. Tomorrow, let's not have this discussion.
Awesome.
Let's find a cure to this huge disease that we've made huge. It's nothing. Listen, you guys. Life is just for the living. Live together. Love yourselves and move together. But listen, try it.
University means unity.
Just me a lot. That
Means unity.
I'm on Yangole would be better than this.
That's primitive.
No, it is.
And we go to school and we're still living in this life.
And that's the funny thing.
So when are we going to wake up, man?
Okay.
This shit agitates me a lot, man.
That's very.
We are going to keep on discussing.
Our
We're going to keep on discussing. Even the next discussion we shall discuss, but nothing is going to happen. Like for me,
Can go on and on.
I'm willing to act without fear. Listen, without fear. Because I know what's right. Cautiousness. We need to make everyone cautious.
Right.
If we don't, we are doomed.
Right.
And this is a fact. If you have to be rich alone, you be rich alone. It's okay. And guys will hate you. We have more thieves today. Tomorrow we shall have the most thieves. Why? Because you're creating sentiment. Bullshit. We need to act. Guys, we need to act.
I like that it's coming from a very deep place where it's
Deep because you need to sit down and actually look at the world. What the?
No, even the funny thing is that Uganda is so small, and yet we are so consumed by these little itty bitty issues. You have the entire world out there with so many different people. I mean, you look.
But I feel like that's what. But here's the wake up, understand. I'm a stickler for authenticity. Everyone here is unique. You get me? And I feel like tribalism is a part of us. Let's not take that away. And there has to be moderation attached to who we are. University comes from unity in diversity. We cannot all be the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to have some places that we come from. But the thing is, do I know better enough? Like, I have to know more than my parents at least.
We have to
I need to know that much.
Challenge.
To know that me coming from the West, I mean Jack. Doesn't mean Jack. If really and truly we want to contribute to making our places better and have a unified sort of setting. I don't know if it's going to happen in our lifetime.
It's going to happen in our lifetime.
I'm not sure. I don't know about that. However, we can't let the ones that come after us struggle with that notion. It's quite
we have. No, I think you have a point there.